because our focus will be shifting to the women's heavyweight competition on this rainy Saturday morning. Glad you could join us. Alex Visbaldi here with you as we've got a matchup between the 14th ranked Harvard Radcliffe Black and White and number 4 Yale. We'll also see Boston University tagging along in a couple of these races, but we're a couple of minutes away from the start of the first Varsity 8 race at 8:50. And you can see the other races. We've got the second and third Varsity 8s and then the Varsity 4s mixed in as well. But we are planning to bring you all 5 of these races coverage coming for you, starting with the first Varsity 8 and the Harvard Radcliffe Boatings. For this group, the coxswain is Alexandra Churf, a senior from Chicago, Illinois. The stroke seat, it's Catherine Sarah, a sophomore from Miami. In seat 7, it's Mina Baher, a junior from Mountain View, California. Catherine Van Stone is in seat 6, a senior from Philadelphia. In seat 5, it's Francesca Gardela, a junior from La Punta, Peru. In seat 4, it's Annika Holti, a first year from Salt Lake City. In seat 3, Lindsay Braille, a junior from New York City. In seat 2, it's Isabel Yabras Diaz, a sophomore from Oxford in the United Kingdom. And at the bow, it's Vivi Sun, a first year from Atherton, California. As you take a look from above, you've got Radcliffe and Yale, and now here are the Varsity 8 for the Yale. The coxswain is Hope Galusha, a junior from Manhattan Beach, California. The stroke is Violet Barletta, a senior from Boston out of the St. Paul School. In seat 7, it's Maya Mesh Kool-Aid, a senior from Mississauga, Canada. In seat 6, it's Mia Levy, a senior from Des Moines, Iowa. Nicole Martinez is in seat 5, a junior from Asuncion in Paraguay. In seat 4, it's Christina Bormo, a junior from Greece. Seat 3, Harriet Drake Lee, a junior from Kettering, England. In seat 2, it's Lindsay Williams, a sophomore from Riverside, Rhode Island. And at the bow, it's Alexa van der Sulenberg, a junior from Zurich in Switzerland. Now this is race for the Case Cup, and we are off and underway. So glad you could be here as Radcliffe and Yale go at it. And a quick start for the Bulldogs up at the top of your screen. That is Harvard Radcliffe. That is about 2 seats behind right now. The Case Cup has been contested since 1980. These schools have been competing since 1975 on the women's side. As far as the Case Cup, Yale has won it the last 11 times these squads have faced off. It's the longest streak ever for either team. The series, from that perspective, 25 wins for Yale, 14 for Harvard Radcliffe, and 1 that finished in a tie. The last time that Harvard Radcliffe was within 5 seconds was back in 2016 when the margin was 1.8 seconds. And what a start for the Bulldogs as they have charged their way to a boat-length lead and now open water less than a minute into the start of this contest. Well, Yale comes into this as the favorite. Mention the rankings. The Bulldogs number 4, the Black and White number 14. The Bulldogs under head coach Will Porter now in his 26th year. He's led Yale to the NCAA tournament 22 times, and they had 6 top 5 finishes. This is a group that had been in a complete rebuild last year. They graduated 14 seniors from an NCAA team in 2023, returning just 7 rowers and 3 coxswains who had NCAA experience. They have the smallest roster in the Ivy League once again, and the smallest team of any squad that's ranked in the top 20, but what they lack in quantity, they make up for in quality. This year, the Bulldogs have 44 student athletes, but they find a way to churn out really high quality. It's a group that is hoping that they can challenge again for the Ivy League championship. They haven't won that competition since 2010, but they look to be in strong shape. You know, Princeton has operated at the top of the Ivy League over the last few seasons, and just last time out there, a week ago, down in New Jersey, it was Yale picking up about a 3.5 second victory over Princeton in the first Varsity 8, and that is setting up the Bulldogs for what may be a special season. Yale's boats, they are undefeated in the first Varsity 8. In fact, they've only come in not first place just once across all of their boats, and that was back early on this season when they faced a trio of Big Ten opponents in Ohio State, Michigan, and Rutgers. when the third varsity 4 finished in 3rd place in that race. So a lot to like here from the Yale Bulldogs as Harvard tries to keep pace. They are, of course, steadily falling back here. Radcliffe, this is a fun boat to coach, according to the Radcliffe head coach Claire O'Hall, now in her 2nd season leading the program. She says developing the camaraderie has been a real highlight in this boat, a lot of fun personalities, and really thankful to have a lot of the women in this boat who are vocal. Some aren't, and they've learned how to figure things out together. As we reach the halfway point of this race, she's seen a lot of the women in this boat step outside their comfort zone this spring and learn a lot, grow as people. It's been really fun, really special. They're committed to each other, having high performance standards every day. And this is a Harvard Radcliffe squad that is in a rebuilding mode. And so the results might not be there immediately, but Claire O'Hall has this squad going in the right direction, and she has, a great young rower in Catherine Serra to thank that. The sophomore, she was U23 Women's 8 last summer for the United States that got silver at Worlds. She was selected again for selection camp this year. Really an exciting rower, set multiple boathouse records this winter on the erg, and just exciting to watch her develop as an athlete and improve. But right now, this race is all about the Bulldogs as Yale is out in front with this really upperclassman heavy boat. They've got 3 seniors, 4 juniors, and a sophomore, plus the junior Cox in Hope Galusha, and they've got some real heavyweights on this team as far as the international squad. You look at Maya Mesh Kool-Aid. She's back after taking last year off to train for the Olympics. She won a silver medal as she won that medal at the Paris Olympics last year on the Canadian national team Cox State. She also rode for Canada at the 2023 World Championships and the U23 World Championships that year. It really has been a tremendous rower, and out of the boat, passionate about nuclear non-proliferation. She's conducted research on global intelligence and security issues, and as also on top of that, prior to her time at Yale, completed grade 8 with the Royal Conservatory of Music in both piano and violin. Of course, all these Ivy League student athletes, so talented in many other ways. But she's not alone in terms of the heavy hitters in that Yale boat. Christina Bormo, a junior from Greece, she's back with Yale after taking last year off to train for the Olympics. She is a 2-time Olympian, not only competed in Paris last year, but also in Tokyo in 2021. She was in the Pair A final in Paris. She finished in 6th after finishing 5th in Tokyo. At that time, set a women's pair world record in the semifinal with her time of 6:48.70. So heavy international presence, and that is paying off in a big way right now for the Bulldogs as they are on their way to yet another win for this Case Cup, one of the oldest cups in women's rowing. We'll start to see the finish line approach there on the left side of your picture. But Yale, boy, they hit it early. Got off to a boat length lead and then open water within the opening minute of this race. And the Bulldogs have shown that they mean business, and they are on their way to continuing an undefeated start here in 2025. And, they want to get back to the top of the Ivy League. They may find themselves in position potentially for an NCAA championship with this squad. They've never won an NCAA title. Closest they came was 2nd back in 2004. They finished 1st here this morning with a dominating victory, crossing the line at approximately 6 minutes and 39. We'll see how far Radcliffe finishes behind. The margin will be important. Last year, Radcliffe lost by about 7.5 seconds. It appears the margin is greater than that here today. It looks like it's going to be about 12 seconds for the black and white, finishing behind Yale as the Bulldogs retain the Nathaniel H. Case Cup and win this first Varsity 8 showdown this morning to start off our women's heavyweight action. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few minutes to preview our second Varsity 8. That race is